Welcome back to the channel. In medicine, we have a term for the moment when a patient who has been relying on a powerful but temporary treatment suddenly discovers that the underlying condition has progressed and the treatment no longer works. We call that a therapeutic failure, and it often marks the point where denial collides with reality. That is precisely what has just happened to a prominent LIV golf star. The US Open is golf's ultimate test, the toughest course, the deepest field, and the highest stakes. Every professional dreams of teeing it up at America's national championship. But for one LIV golfer, that dream has just collapsed into a nightmare. After failing to qualify for the US Open, his career is now in serious jeopardy. No automatic exemption, no special invitation, no second chances. He attempted to qualify the hard way, grinding through the brutal 36-hole one-day gauntlet, and he failed. The golf world is in shock, fans are stunned, and the media is asking questions that cut to the very core of what is happening to players who left the traditional tours. How could a former major champion miss the US Open? What does this mean for his future? And could this be the beginning of the end for one of LIV golf's biggest names? The news hit the golf world with the force of a thunderbolt. A LIV golf star, a former major champion, a player who once dominated the sport, has failed to qualify for the US Open. His name is being withheld for now, with sources remaining anonymous and details still emerging, but the implications are already devastatingly clear. This is a disaster for the player, for LIV Golf, and for the narrative the league has tried to construct. The US Open is not like other majors. It does not hand out invitations based on reputation or past glory. It does not care about fame or what you accomplished 5 years ago. You earn your spot through performance. You qualify through a merciless process, or you stay home. The qualifying system is brutal by design. 36 holes in a single day, no second chances, no safety net. The best players in the world compete for a handful of available spots. Many fail, most fail. But the stars are supposed to rise above. That is precisely why they are stars. This LIV star did not rise. He gave it everything he had, and it was not enough. He shot over par, made too many bogeys, and did not make enough birdies. The putts did not drop, the breaks did not go his way, and now he is watching the US Open from his couch at home. The golf world is buzzing with speculation about the identity of this player. Some believe it is Bryson DeChambeau, who has struggled mightily in recent months, missed the cut at the PGA Championship, and watched his game slip away from him at the worst possible time. Failing to qualify for the US Open would represent a devastating new low. Others think it could be Phil Mickelson, now 55 years old, his game having fallen off a cliff, unable to make cuts consistently, and watching the US Open, the championship that has always been his white whale, slip beyond his reach forever. Still others speculate it might be Brooks Koepka, who has been dealing with persistent injuries and has not looked like himself for some time. A qualifying failure for a player of his caliber would send genuine shockwaves through the sport. Whoever it is, the implications are enormous. The US Open is a career-defining event, and missing it leaves a permanent stain on any resume. For a LIV golf star, the damage is multiplied. The league already faces a serious credibility problem, and its players are supposed to be elite. When they fail to qualify for the most important championships in the sport, the narrative shifts in a brutal direction. The perception grows that LIV Golf is not producing champions, but rather housing players who have lost their competitive edge. The player himself is reportedly devastated. Sources say he did not sleep after the qualifier, replaying every shot in his mind. The putt that lipped out, the drive that found the thick rough, the approach that came up short. He knows he let himself down, let his team down, and let his league down. To understand why this situation is so dire, you must understand the US Open qualifying process and why it has become an almost insurmountable obstacle for LIV players. There are 2 stages: local qualifying, open to any professional or amateur with a handicap of 1.4 or lower, where thousands enter and hundreds advance, and final qualifying, held at several sites across the country. One day, 36 holes, a tiny handful of spots available. The competition is ferocious, featuring hungry college stars, mini-tour grinders, club professionals, and a few LIV golf stars who failed to earn exemptions. The exemptions are the critical factor. Players who have won the U.S. Open in the last 10 years are exempt. Players who have won another major in the last 5 years are exempt. Players ranked in the top 60 in the world are exempt. Players who won a PGA Tour event in the last year are exempt. LIV Golf Stars have systematically lost nearly all of these protections. Their world rankings have plummeted because LIV events do not offer ranking points. They do not win PGA Tour events because they do not play on the PGA Tour. Their major victories are aging out of the exemption windows. They are left with no choice but to qualify just like everyone else, and the system shows no mercy. This particular player did not have a recent major victory, was not ranked in the top 60, and had not won a PGA Tour event. He had to qualify. He tried. He failed. And now he is out while the U.S. Open moves on without him. The implications of this failure are devastating on multiple fronts. Financially, the U.S. Open pays millions, with the winner taking home over $4 million, and even players who missed the cut earning a check. This LIV star will receive nothing, and while his LIV contract pays him handsomely, the bonuses tied to major performance are gone. Sponsors are watching closely, and endorsements may begin to dry up. From a ranking perspective, the U.S. Open offers the most world ranking points of any tournament, and making the cut guarantees a significant boost, while winning guarantees a massive jump. This player will receive 0 points. His ranking will continue its downward spiral. He may drop out of the top 100, and he may lose exemptions for future majors. Reputationally, missing the U.S. Open is a terrible look. Fans watch, media covers, and sponsors pay attention. For LIV Golf Star, the narrative that LIV players are not serious competitors grows stronger, while the league looks weaker, and the player looks increasingly washed up. Psychologically, the damage may be the most severe. The U.S. Open is a career-defining event, and missing it stings and lingers. This player will carry this failure with him, doubt himself, press harder, and likely struggle more. The mental scars may prove far worse than any physical limitations. The reaction has been swift and intensely divided. Social media is flooded with opinions ranging from unsympathetic to compassionate. Some fans argue he took the money and made his choice, so now he must live with the consequences. Others point out that the qualifying system is brutal, and even the best players can have a bad day. A few are simply amused. Noting this is what happens when you stop competing against the best week after week. Players have been more circumspect, with most refusing to comment publicly. But one anonymous PGA Tour player stated bluntly that this is why they stayed, because the majors are the most important events, and you have to earn your way in. Another player expressed sympathy, but noted the player knew the risks when he left. A LIV golf official speaking anonymously called it a setback, but not the end, insisting the players will adapt and find a way. But the PGA Tour is quietly enjoying the moment as the narrative reinforces itself. The players who stayed are thriving, and the players who left are struggling. The contrast grows sharper with each passing major. What options does this player have now? He can work harder, practice more, and try to regain his form, because the talent is undeniably still there. The question is whether the desire and competitive sharpness remain. He could leave LIV Golf and return to the PGA Tour through the punishing reinstatement process, which includes a suspension, a fine, and a public apology. A change of scenery and a return to elite weekly competition could sharpen his game, but the price of re-entry is steep and humiliating. He could also retire. He has made a fortune and has nothing left to prove financially. He can walk away, and the game will move on, remembering him as a champion but also as a cautionary tale about what happens when guaranteed money replaces competitive fire. The most likely outcome is that he continues to struggle, misses more majors, watches his ranking fall further, loses sponsors, and sees his confidence crumble into irrelevance. The LIV contract becomes a golden handcuff, making him rich but not relevant. The U.S. Open will go on without him. The tournament will be great, and a champion will be crowned. But one LIV star will be watching from home. That is a cautionary tale, and that is the unforgiving reality of professional golf. Do you think LIV players should receive special exemptions into majors, or should they have to qualify like everyone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay on top of every twist in this ongoing saga, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. This story is far from over, and I will see you in the next one.